Hey, how's it going?
Oh, hi man.
What did we say your name was? Benson, Mr. Shaken Not Stirred.
Bed's Mr. Shaken, not stirred. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
why
yeah,
you give me that name.
I don't know. It's something suave about you, I think. So this is one of my new friends and subscribers on the channel, and so we're having a discussion today. I think he got a little bit. You got a little bit heated when I was talking about Man of Steel once. So
A little
I
bit,
think
a little
a
bit.
little bit heated. So we're gonna be having a discussion today about the hashtag Henry Cavill Man of Steel
Yeah.
2 that's been going around. So I wanted to just give a little introduction so that you can get caught up on what's been happening. So
I can't hear you. You've gone off.
by the way, check you're unmuted.
Yeah, sorry about that. I couldn't hear
I
you what
think
you were saying.
I,
Your mic
I,
must have went off or something.
I think, could you hear me? You could hear me before, obviously. So I must have gone off at a certain point. I hope it's been on. But yeah, just to start off, could you hear what I said about Henry Cavill?
No, I heard you say Henry Cavill, then it went off. So I'd
Well,
start
great.
from there
Okay,
again.
so I'll go for it. Yeah. Following a tweet by TNT Drama praising Henry Cavill's DCU Superman, hashtag Henry Cavill Superman began trending across the platform. Evidently, the internet desires a follow-up to Henry Cavill's DC extended universe Superman Man of Steel movie, and it was trending a couple of days ago. And I was going to ask, the first thing I wanted to ask you is what's your kind of relationship with Henry Cavill and Superman and him as an actor and that kind of thing.
For me, I think he's a really good Superman. Well, I don't like what is the dialogue he's been given. I don't really like the direction he's been given in the movies he has been in. But I
So why
think,
is that? Why is that?
go on, sorry.
Why is that?
Um, just the way he's been written, really. I think he looks the part. He has the embodiment of Superman, and I do think I have seen bits of him that have been really well done. Like in Justice League, I didn't really like that film, but Superman, for the tiny little bit that he was in that film, I thought they did him good, and that's what I want to see more of. That's how I kind of feel.
So, I mean, in general, like, for where would you rank like Man of Steel in terms of your, like DCEU? You think it's really up there, or and what's your like? Because I think you were saying earlier that you had you don't, maybe you like Batman v Superman, or you don't, or what's your thing with Zack Snyder?
Batman first Superman, that was just a disappointing film. I'm not saying it was trash, like a lot of people are. It was just disappointing for me. Man of Steel, I really liked it when it came out. I enjoyed it. But after a few viewings of watching it 5, 6 times, I started seeing problems with it. Just the characters, things what they were
Five
doing
or
and
six
saying.
times to see the problems.
I know you see the problems. I mean, the problems are there. Overall, I always say it was a good movie,
Yeah,
but not the best Superman movie. But I did
yeah.
enjoy it, and I still watch it to this day. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what my thing is, listening to what you said. I think my I have more problems with Henry Cavill coming back as Superman than just his performance and giving him a chance. I think, first of all, because there's a lot of aspects to this for me. So first of all, I see what's happening with the Batman movie, right? And I see that reboot. And I see
I think you
younger
need to turn your mic up a little bit. I'm struggling to hear.
Oh, no. Okay, wait a second.
I can hear you, but I'm just struggling.
I'm doing something silly, sorry.
It's okay.
Should have done that. First of all, I will... Tell me if this is better. Can you hear me better now?
Slightly more, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that should be okay.
Yeah? Okay. So, yeah. I mean, I should have really written notes down to like make sure that I put everything, because sometimes I go off one way and the other, so it's hard for me to kind of nail down my exact like where to start off with. I like Henry Cavill as a person. I think he's a really, really charming guy. And if he could somehow channel his natural charm into his roles, and I'm not just talking about Superman, but if he could channel that natural charm into his roles, I think I'd be willing to give him a little bit more of a chance. But from what I've seen and the way people discuss him, I feel like they're looking at the potential of what he looks like, you know, as opposed to his actual performance, right? Even at
I
the end, okay. Let me finish, and then you can
cool.
Tell me what you think. So even at the end of Man of Steel, even at the end of Justice League, I thought he'd become a cartoon by then, right? Like, and that wasn't necessarily his fault. I know that people have been looking for the lighter, brighter Superman, and I kind of want that as well. But I feel like a better way to play that is naturalistically, as opposed to becoming like this cartoon character. But funnily enough, having said that, that was his best performance to date. That was the first time I've ever seen Henry Cavill where I didn't think it was just Henry Cavill, where he was coming out of his comfort zone and he was like maybe doing a Christopher Reeves impression or something along those lines. Do you agree with that? Like it was a little bit of a Chris Reeves impression?
A little bit, yeah. I can agree with that bit.
And I'm not so sure that Christopher Reeves is what Superman needs right now. I'm not sure that a Christopher Reeves impression, I think that will go down a lot like Superman Returns went down. And I actually I don't mind Superman Returns as much as other people dislike it. I actually think it's I think it's terrible. I'll tell you what, I used to hate the movie until I saw Man of Steel, and then I got like a little bit like yeah. So I used to hate Superman Returns until I saw Man of Steel, and then I don't hate Man of Steel. I can be objective about it. It has a good score. The visuals are amazing. Oh, is there somebody else wanting to come in? Hello. Can we have 3 people in?
I do apologize. Yeah, I just joined.
No, man. How's it going? Tell me your name. What's up?
It's Noel. We just started talking about The Boys and everything. I just
cool, man. No problem. That's cool. Did you know what we were talking about just now?
I just caught the bits and pieces about Cavill and
yeah, exactly. So basically, we're each giving our stand on where we're on this hashtag that went around a couple of days ago about Henry Cavill reprising his role as Superman, or as for a Man of Steel sequel. Mm-hmm. And I was giving my kind of reasons of what I think about Henry Cavill. Benson obviously was giving his. I guess an interesting way to start, if you don't mind, Or do you want me to? Let me finish what I was saying, and
Yeah,
then
you two can
and then,
continue.
and
I'll
then,
listen.
and
in.
then and then you can tell me when you if you were when you want to join in, should I say? What were we saying? So yeah, the best performance I think of Henry Cavill was in Justice League, but Man of Steel, I can be objective about it. I think that the score, the visuals, and I even believe the action is the best you've ever seen in a Superman movie. Not the score. The score is the second best in a Superman movie. Obviously, John Williams is the best. But definitely those aspects of the movie are really good. And after Man of Steel, I did not think Henry Cavill was the problem with the performance. I thought it was Zack Snyder's directing. I thought Zack Snyder was the one telling him to be so kind of blank and cold. And I saw these moments in the film of warmth, you know, the moment where he's with he's just come back from finding the alien ship and he goes back to his mother and, you know, he's like, you know, I'll never leave you. And those moments gave me the sense of like, oh, that's the Superman, that's the Clark Kent from the comics. So I felt that, but I've seen just so many of his performances since where he is a little bit wooden. I've like given him that chance, like whether it was what was that one? You know where there's the two spies and he's the English one, and then he's the American one, and there's
Mission Impossible.
Man from Uncle and Mission Impossible.
Man from Uncle, yeah, Guy Ritchie's film.
Yeah, he was the weakest in Mission Impossible as well. He wasn't the best. He's got his physicality down. It's good when it comes to the physicality and the action, but when it comes to delivering the lines, he's a little bit wooden again.
Wooden, yeah.
And the last thing I'll say, this is the really, really important thing. I understand how somebody could cast Henry Cavill as Superman. I probably would have done it. If I was a director and Henry Cavill came through the door, I see him in the suit, he does the American accent, I could have been like, that's Superman. The only thing one might have forgotten is that you have to cast for Clark Kent as well. And the problem I see with Henry Cavill is, one, I haven't seen his Clark Kent till today. It's like in Batman v Superman, his Clark Kent was non-existent. His Clark Kent was basically a sounding board for Ben Affleck to just, you know, keep kind of hitting him with, you know, with lines and stuff. So he's kind of like a blank kind of thing, like not kind of giving anything back. But even more than that, I just think he's too GQ to be Clark Kent. I don't see the duality ever coming out of him where I can believe that guy is a guy that, you know, women wouldn't be interested in, or he's the mild-mannered guy who isn't going to turn heads every time he walks into a room. And that was the beauty of what, you know, not that I want another Chris Reeves impression, but that's the one thing I would take from Chris Reeves is that duality, his ability to be the Clark Kent and be the Superman. I think that's essential to relating to the character, because I think Clark Kent is more important a character in the Superman mythos than Superman is. If you don't relate, if you can't relate to Superman, really. When people say they can't relate to Superman, they're talking about Superman. You can relate to Clark Kent. Yeah. You can relate to a mild-mannered kind of like loser guy who's hard on his luck and, you know, all of these things, and there's this girl that he wants who's pining after him. You can relate to that guy.
Yeah, that's a common thing. You know, we're not all superheroes, you know, but we're all human.
Yeah. Well, I think you touched on one of the first things you said. It's quite hard to catch up. You said a lot of people just see the body of Superman, how he looks, and that's why they're saying that's their Superman. I get where you're coming from with that, but I think he hasn't really been directed properly. Yeah. So he is a charming person. He's charming in real life. He's a geek as well, which is cool. And I think that under the right direction, you could make a really good Superman with him. I mean, you should go to the Man of Tomorrow. That would be a really good film to do with Cavill if it was done right. You touched on Zack Snyder, like what do I think of his universe and stuff? It's been disappointing, to be honest. There's been good parts about it, but overall, I've been a bit disappointed.
Cheers.
And I hope the Flashpoint movie kind of steers the DC in the right direction. I think the new Batman film coming out, that's fire. You know, I'm excited for that.
Well,
we'll talk about it the other day.
Yeah, we should. But I think Ray Fisher is trying everything possible in an underhand way to ensure.
Oh, he's done. He's done. He's out of there now.
You think so? All right.
Yeah, well, I mean, Warner Bros. Came out. They released their statement. You know, they've told us everything in there. They've told us facts, and they've given a proper statement. What has Ray Fisher given us? Just a few tweets on Twitter, with nothing to back it up.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. We should talk about that, but like let's kind of like focus in.
On Cavill.
But no, on Cavill and on the Snyderverse, since you brought it up.
Yeah.
What was should I call you Super Zero or Carmen Bates? Carmen Bates, I like that. I love that movie. So I'm a big Psycho fan.
It's cool. Fine.
Yeah. So what's your take on the Snyderverse? Or like, what are you happy it's gone? Do you want it back? Are you excited about the Snyder Cut?
I am very happy that we are going to be able to see the original vision and the original plan that we were going to get. Basically, we're probably going to get newer effects or things that were thought up based on what we have now available, I guess. Mm-hmm. Because when, like with Momoa, Jason Momoa saying, I've seen the Snyder Cut. I mean, that's probably truthful, but he's seen an unfinished product. So he's probably seen what others want to see. You know, we want a Justice League film, we want a Superman film, we want something good, but we also need to have like producers and companies stand behind the person they choose. And that right there seems like the major first problem is they had, you know, they were confident in Zack Snyder, probably seeing what he did with Watchmen, probably seeing that this is someone who has a different view, a different take on something. And if any time was right to do a more adult, you know, not just like a comics for kids or teens or something, to have something that could kind of, for the older fans, for adults, you know?
I absolutely get that, but I don't see, this is where my problem is with Snyder, okay? Mm-hmm. So I don't see how that idea that you just mentioned conflicts with actually doing a proper version of the characters. So I don't see why you have to turn Superman into something that historically hasn't been, just to fit in with a darker aesthetic. So let me put it this way. Mm-hmm. A better way of putting it, like so if you take the features of Superman, right, the general features of Superman, he's like some clumsy dude, like when he's Clark Kent, who's down on his luck a little bit, and then he can turn into like the greatest guy ever, right? He can turn into Superman, right? You can still have all of that with a world that is paranoid about this alien that has just turned up, that is that he's struggling to know how he fits into this world. You can still have him be that noble, good hero who will save his father, who will not question whether he should save humanity from Zod, who will every once in a while see a civilian and try and zip over like to save him, even though Zod will blocks him and stops him from saving the person. All of that.
I think we need Brainiac. That's what we need.
We
don't need no more Zod. We need Brainiac. We need a new villain. That's what we need.
We need definitely.
We don't need Zod anymore. Done with Zod now. But Brainiac.
But do you get what I'm saying there? That you can still have all of those things that make up Superman that will make, Superman fans who from the past enjoy the movie while having new fans who can take on a more, like serious, a more serious take where it's not.
I think I know what you mean, but I like the darkness of the DC. I get what a Super Zero. Hi, Super, by the way. I get what you're saying about it being a bit more like adult, but you could have both. You could have like the dark DC as it is. You could put Superman in a dark film, but Superman has to be that beacon of light in that film.
Yeah.
In Man of Steel and in the other films, he never felt like that to me. He just felt miserable and dull, and that's direction. That's not Cavill.
I don't even know if newer fans or older fans, if not satisfied, would let something like that happen. How people are. One little detail, one little thing, or someone saying, "I don't like the way that turned out," or "I wouldn't have wrote that." Well, the fact is you're not the writer. If you're a fan, then you want more, don't you? You want to support something you love and appreciate it, because that's the only way we're going to get more. I do understand.
If it's good.
Yeah.
If it's good, then yeah. If it's rubbish, then nah.
Yeah, we can't have so much garbage. It's all garbage. But I can't just support
it because it's DC.
Yeah, it's so hard to please everybody, and then I think that's the main problem. And like I said, people letting us be happy with what we have, so we can get more.
I think we can all agree. Maybe I'm shooting in the dark here, but I think we can all agree that Man of Steel and BVS is actually better than a lot of MCU movies, and that certain MCU movies, as much as I enjoy them, are a little bit overrated, right?
Not BVS. I take that right out of there. That's gone for me.
Well, what do you think about the difference between the one we got and the director's cut, where it gave us everything that we missed, everything that the plot holes were there?
Benson, can you hear him?
I can. Yeah, I did see the extended one, and it was better.
Okay, great.
But it was still. It's just my opinion. I just don't think it was very well made.
I honestly think the real problem with Zack Snyder's 2 DCU movies, nothing to do with the tone. I can even accept Superman killing Zod, even though I don't like it. I could even have accepted that. The problem was Superman. Superman was a void at the center of those movies where I think he knew what he didn't want Superman to be. He didn't want it to be Chris Reeves. He didn't want it to be this. He didn't want it to be that. But I don't think he knew what he wanted Superman to be.
He doesn't like Superman. He's been on record saying that he doesn't like Superman, and it really tells in the movies that he doesn't like him. So
you're absolutely right with that, Benson.
And I think if you just had a little bit, it doesn't have to be super like like just a little bit of just a normal nice guy, right? Like a little bit charming and whatever, a Superman, that would have almost fixed BVS for me. It would have fixed BVS because Batman was fine, really. Okay, he was killing people. Some people will never like be able to deal with that. And to be fair, I don't know why he was setting up the Flashpoint movie when he had a Batman that was killing in the main universe. If you're going to have a Batman that's killing in the main universe, there's no point setting up a Flashpoint movie. Otherwise, what is Batman going to be in that universe? Well,
I don't think he was setting up the Flashpoint, was he?
I think he was.
I don't think Snyder was going down that rabbit hole, to be honest. I think they're doing it now to fix the universe.
Yeah.
So why would he get Jeffrey? Why would he get Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play Thomas Wayne in just like a beginning? In the obligatory scene of Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot. Yeah. You have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, big actor, playing him. Why would he do that?
That's the one out of Walking Dead, isn't it?
Yeah, the one out of Walking Dead.
He plays Negan.
Negan, yeah.
Comedian from Watchmen. All right, can we all agree Watchmen was fire?
Oh yeah. course
Okay,
it
all
was.
right. Archie, all right.
You can't debate that.
Nope.
That's
Absolutely.
that's a masterpiece.
Zack Snyder is a brilliant director. Like
Yep.
he is. He's done very good movies. I haven't got a problem with that. It's the Snyderverse. There's too much.
It's
just
broken.
disappointing for me overall.
It's broken. It's like
It's broken,
Now-
and you
now
can't
we
lie
have to
because
fix
the
it,
fan
you know,
base is split.
it's hard to do. Yeah, it's hard to do with half the people wanting it to be correct or good, and then the other half are just like, we don't want any more. Anyone
just
that
want it to
says
be
they
good.
don't want any more. Yeah, anyone that says they don't want any more, I call BS. They're gonna torrent the film, they're gonna download it and still watch it, and then share their opinion on social media. But
course.
still, I mean, people are dead. They're dead set liars if they're like, oh, it's not going to turn out the way I want it to be, so I'm not going to watch it. Like, yeah, right. You're gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch
the
the fuck out of the Snyder Cut. I mean, that's
same here.
I think we owe it. I think we kind of owe it to not only Schneider, we owe it to DC, we owe it to the characters we love. We owe it to pretty much because it's kind of in our hands to get good material out there and keep good material coming because really we're the fans. They are catering to us.
Look, here's the thing, okay? Zack Snyder is good, but he's got a base of fanboys that don't do him any favors. Because if they were able to critique, I've always said this, and I said this on just a recent stream. If you ever get a review of a comic book movie or Star Wars or anything like that, that is all negative, like everything they say in the review is negative. Like you can't find one good thing in the movie. That's
they might not have seen it.
No, that's a fanboy writing. That's a fanboy writing that review.
That's true. That is true.
And if you conversely you get one that's all positive, they can't find anything wrong with it.
Yeah,
that's a fanboy writing.
That's
the
a Snyder cult.
Right. That's basically it. So if you can't, and he doesn't seem to be able to accept criticism, and it's a flaw in his game. Because if you accept criticism, I think Nolan accepts criticism. He's a great director. I think a lot of these guys you see that are directors, you see that they accept the things that may have been flawed in their past work, and they try and improve on it. And I don't.
They learn from it.
I don't.
That's a good director. That's what I want more of.
I think Snyder, doesn't do that. It's almost like he wants to troll people in the next movie by doubling down on what they didn't like in the first movie. It's like Superman was a dark killing, well, he wasn't a monster, but he was trying to save the world. I'll give him that. But he certainly didn't seem to care about people so much as we traditionally.
Is it Superman or Batman? Are you talking about?
Exactly. You were not sure, but that was him in Man of Steel, and then we're like, everyone's like, most people are like, we'll give it another chance. We want Man of Steel 2. Even I was on the Man of Steel 2 train. He then was like, no, we're gonna bring in Batman into this. I'm like, okay, why the fuck would you do that? Oh, we're gonna bring in Wonder Woman. I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan, like of the comic. I might be like one of the most big DC Trinity fans, right? And so I'm like, of course I want to see Wonder Woman, but why are you putting Wonder Woman in a Batman v Superman movie? In the end, it worked out. But anyway, point being, he opens the film with Superman just ramming a black stereotype through a wall. The black terrorist guy. And you're right. You're right. Superman just kill a human guy. So there's no Zod anymore. There's no this is a guy who he doesn't know what to do. He's as powerful as him. If he doesn't take the chance to kill him now, he might be sacrificing the whole world, right? To to total genocide. Now he's just killing a human man, right, in the beginning, and then it just gets worse from there. You know, like it was with this Superman character. So it's like he's trolling people rather than addressing, you know, like putting a hand out to them to address some of their issues. And I think that's a problem in his directing style.
Well, I just think he got it wrong. I think Batman vs Superman, I didn't like it. I didn't like Justice League, but that wasn't all him. Josh Whedon came in and wrecked that movie.
Yeah,
so I'm in full support for Snyder to finish, especially what happened with his daughter. You know, his daughter committing suicide and then getting rid of him and bring Josh Whedon in. I thought that was dirty, so I'm happy that he's got his movie and he's getting to finish it. Do I think it's going to be good? I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to watch it.
We hope so, right? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I think that is the one thing where I kind of understand Ray Fisher. If this is what he's talking about the abuse that was on the set of Justice League, I'm like, the guy's daughter just died. Don't start dissing his movie in front of the people who are, you know, his, you know, they're basically loyal to him. They're his VFX guys, his, you know, his crew and all of that. You don't start like dissing the guy's vision when his daughter's just died. Of course, you're gonna get on some people's kind of nerves, but that's still not enough for me to cancel a guy or to. You know, especially the guy who just enabled it, like Jeff Johns. It's like,
well, the things he's been saying just it doesn't justify that for me.
You would think that. So if one of you directed a film, and that happened to you, you know, something happened to someone in your family or an emergency or something with your health, something legitimate, you know, you would think that bringing another director in, no matter if it's Josh Whedon, no matter who it is, that you would respect the original director's work and you would build off of it, not come in with like what Josh was like, I have this vision. Well, cool. We all know that you got lots of visions, you know, like
chops it up.
But yeah, you kind of change things. You didn't work off of what you had, you know. You basically were just like, okay, we're gonna change this. But
to be fair to Josh Whedon, to be absolutely fair to Josh Whedon and Jeff Johns and John Berg, they did not have the power to make those decisions. They did not say, I would bet, like, you know, $1 million if I had it, that it was not Josh Whedon's decision to make it 2 hours. To make it a 2-hour film. I think he would have preferred to shoot his own middle bit of the film to make it a 2-hour film. So that in itself, you know, is a problem. Like, so once they told him, look, you've got to cut this movie down, you've got to make it more humorous, you've got to make it more like a Marvel movie. That's mandated,
family friendly.
Yeah. And then we'll give you Batgirl, which is his dream project. I don't know why that's his dream project.
Because he is a misogynistic man, and he thinks that he knows what people want to see. Read all his prior work that involve women in any form. He is kind of. He's kind of like.
I actually read his Wonder Woman script. It was pretty bad. I didn't notice the misogyny of it, but like, well, I did in the sense that this is another topic. It's another topic.
That's like a whole subject.
I could go into it, but I'll say that I didn't think it was overly misogynistic, more than your average Hollywood
anything else.
movie.
Yeah, I'm just saying that because that's a huge part of why he is the way he is, or his material is like the way it is.
But it certainly was. I mean, the film was written from Steve Trevor's point of view. Like Wonder Woman's boyfriend. It was written from his point of view rather than hers, so already that's a fail. I
don't want that. You can miss me with that.
You're totally correct. I never even thought about that. That film is pretty much from Steve's point of view. Like, you're right. I never really thought about that. He's kind of a little bit.
Do you mean the Wonder Woman that came out, or you mean the Wonder Woman that Josh Whedon wrote?
Before the comics that started. It's the comics run that led to, you know, him wanting to get more involved, him wanting to do more projects that involve based around women. Like look at Buffy, look at like all of those earlier things. There's something about like Black Widow, or there's something about he just has a certain view on women, and it's not like a strong woman build view.
Yeah. I mean,
A little bit different, you know.
As I was, we were talking about something before this. We've kind of gone off the.
Yeah,
It was.
We're on about the Snyderverse.
It was. Yeah, no, it was that
sorry.
Josh Whedon was mandated by Warner Brothers to ruin the movie. That's basically what it was. Like they basically said to him, "We want our bonuses. We think people are just going to spend money on the Justice League, whatever it is. So make it 2 hours, make it funny, and you know whatever." So that was already going to ruin the movie. So you can't really target.
You can't
them.
defend it. Like I don't understand all these channels defending that movie. You can't defend it. It's not defendable.
It's the worst.
I mean, if you like a film, that's fine.
But
you can't tell me. Sorry,
I rank it under Suicide Squad.
Oof.
I rank Justice League under Suicide Squad.
Actually, I'll put them both there. Like both of those movies. Wow.
No, there was enjoyable things about Suicide Squad. I like Viola Davis in Suicide Squad.
He's amazing.
Amanda Waller was cool. There was cool things. The characters were cool in Suicide Squad. The story was
the characters were cool. I'll give it that.
The Joker was trash. And
That's
I think
really
who made that Joker?
Oh my god.
What was that?
That was a bad decision. That's what that was.
I've ever seen it. I was like, what is it?
What's going on here? Where are we going with this guy? You know.
But let us steer back. Let us steer back to the subject, so that we don't like go off the subject completely. But so we were talking about like our views of the Snyderverse. So basically, I think Carmen, you dig the Snyderverse in some ways.
I just
right?
I love Zack Snyder as a director. I love him when he gets a vision, like you guys said, Watchmen. That's it. Bottom line, the guy can do what he puts his mind to.
Yeah,
absolutely. The Snyderverse, though, for me, I got a lot of positives out of the Snyderverse. I really did. There's a lot of things that I did like.
I think we're disappointed. You know, we're kind of disappointed, and it's tiring. Like,
yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
But here's just tell me what you think of this, just as an offside. So, in terms of dark movies in the DCEU, do you not think that the Joker is better, and that what Matt Reeves is doing with the Batman shows that what you can do with, like, even what Nolan did, you know, shows what you can.
Yeah, that's what we want.
We need to humanize these things that are not real. You know, we need to, because we can't relate to them beyond imagination. You know, we need the real.
But I don't think Snyder does that. I don't think he makes.
No, it's a joke.
Not at all.
All that stuff.
I think.
Go on.
He really doesn't. He's not about realism. He's about kind of
spectacle.
Yeah. He kind of like Michael Bay. You know, I mean, I hate to compare him to Michael Bay, but Michael Bay can direct action. You know, Zack Snyder
and explosions.
Like, I mean, and that's a big market for people. You know.
No, I think that's why I think that, and this circles back in a good way to what I was initially talking about, which is Cavill coming back as Superman. And I want your view on that, Carmen. The Man of Steel gave me a headache, and to me, narratively, it was weaker than actual BVS. I think he improved with BVS. I know you can say whatever you want. I'll explain. But he. So if you look at Man of Steel, from the very, very beginning of the movie, it's just like from Krypton. You know,
Krypton was awesome. Krypton was fire.
Yes. I don't know, man. I don't
It
know.
was, it was Krypton. That whole planet, it felt alien. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I
felt
loved it.
I mean,
It felt like
it's like it's
Pandora.
foreign. It's foreign to us. We've never seen it, and it was like a spectacle. It was beautiful.
It was.
The design of it, it's amazing.
I could come up with 1,000,000 times better Krypton. 1,000,000 times better Krypton.
Please do.
Well, I want to see your Krypton.
Krypton.
Give me the Krypton cut.
Look. Can you imagine, right? Like, I know people think of the crystal thing as corny, right? The crystal planet, like from the 78 movies, right? It's a bit corny.
I kind of like. I mean, how does a crystal form? You know,
Yeah,
Krypton
exactly.
forms just like making a diamond. You know, in
So my thing is, imagine Zack Snyder's take on a crystal planet, like his visuals of a crystal, like obviously it would be crystal continents. You can't have like a completely crystal planet, otherwise there'd be no life. But like somehow crystals were involved in the planet in like some kind of major way. And his visual aesthetic on that, rather than this dirty red Martian, it almost looked like Apocalypse rather than Krypton. And it had flying like this is a future alien society. Like this is supposed to be a highly advanced alien society, and they don't even have like HD fucking or like TV. They have some weird.
They have that metal stuff that moves around and stuff.
How's that more futuristic than what we have? This is better than that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like looking at someone like this, like how we're looking at someone is better than that. So I just think if you actually think about what a futuristic society would look like, because you're going for realism, that was what Man of Steel was going for. I think actually trying to fit in the crystal aesthetic, but with also the I
agree. I know what you're saying. That would have made it a bit better. I agree, but I still like it.
Would have made it more realistic. Yeah, I to be honest, the Krypton thing isn't the worst thing. The worst thing about the Krypton thing was just how much action there was. It was just like it didn't give you a chance to breathe. It was just it was just bang, 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 bang,
that was so exhausting of a film to watch without like going to the bathroom or getting a soda or just taking.
Yeah, I agree. There was a bit too much action going on in that film.
Yeah, and you thought when it came to Earth that you'd have a bit of a break. And then straight away he's on fire. He's saving like an oil rig. It was like so that was one of the major kind of issues for me with that film. Yeah, and I like the fact that BVS actually slowed it down a bit. And in the extended cut, which I actually like the movie,
I love the
and you're gonna hate on me. I think we should save this for one of our hot takes. Like I do a thing called Hot Takes Tuesday where I tell people something that I think is good or bad that everyone else thinks the opposite of.
Bad.
I like Lex Luthor in that movie. I think that's the best Lex Luthor we've ever had in film.
In which one?
Where?
In BVS, in Batman v Superman. I think that's the best.
Jesse Eisenberg?
I think that's the best Lex Luthor we have had on film.
That's blasphemy.
Apart from
blasphemy, man.
I think Benson and I, we almost had a heart attack, right? The look.
Why would you say that, man? Jesse Eisenberg. What? That wasn't even Lex Luthor. That was Lex Luthor's little sperm. Oh no, man, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, somewhere out there a puppy died just right now.
Oh, I died, man. I just died there. It's my second life.
Died and came back.
It's my second life. It just cost me a life right there, man.
Oh,
I
don't want to cost you lives, man. I'm sorry.
That's a tough one for me. I'm sorry, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from because we need to, like, when we see these characters, we're either going to latch onto them and like them and be just we're dead set with the film, with the characters, or else we're going to be looking at the characters like I can't even see this guy as one of my favorite villains, or and that right there that's going to ruin the film.
It's weak. It's just weak.
Do you know
You're
what?
out there alone on that in that desert, man.
I will argue that one day, but I'm not going to argue it now. But like, I'll tell you,
we'll do that on a hot
time.
take.
Yep, another time.
Hot take.
We can gladly talk about that.
Yeah. But,
I can laugh at that.
I'll say this. The fact that it's divided us just shows the problem with Zack Snyder's movies.
Yeah,
the fact that it's divided us.
True. Very true. If we can agree, and come to compromises, even to agree on things, if we are just like nope, and you're
one's
just
like no, one's like yeah, it's like that's the problem, and I think that's the problem with injecting him into the DCEU. I don't think there's ever going to be a thing where it's not like controversial with him. I think it's just it's too much. He goes too far for some people, and they just can't accept what he's doing with the characters. Whereas, Matt Reeves, you can see already, like with that Riddler, right? That's completely off base. But somehow it works. Paul Dano, you cast right.
He's going to kill it.
That's the first thing you do. You cast right, because immediately when you cast right, you get people on side. Basically, Zack Snyder, I'll tell you what he did for BVS, and it was such a stupid mistake. He tried to out Nolan, right? He tried to Heath Ledger cast every single person in the film, right? So it was like he tried to Heath Ledger, like the Heath Ledger, like, oh, it's going to be, everyone's going to hate the pick, but when they actually see the film, they're going to love the idea, right? So
I don't know what he did with that movie. Whatever it wasn't good.
Your Benson's just not having any of it, but like do you see what I mean? Like you can Heath Ledger one casting.
Yeah, you can't do every single one. You're right about that. Like that would be awesome if we could do that. Like a insane, every single one of casting choice just knocks it out of the park. Doesn't distract from the things we do or don't like. Just somebody we can get behind, and if we could get behind every single character, that'd be amazing and great. But I highly doubt people would even let that be possible. But
look at Batman, like the new Batman that just dropped. Everyone loves it because why? It's fire. That's why it's awesome. I mean, we don't know, but the trailer looks awesome anyway. The tone, people are on board with it. If the movie comes up good, we'll all be in arms with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that argument that everyone has a disagreement here or there. Of course, there's going to be disagreements, but overall, that's what's the important thing.
I don't think there was as much outrage. I think people like to think that Ben Affleck was a normal situation. Ben Affleck and Jesse Eisenberg, they like to think was a normal situation. It wasn't. There was much more outrage at Ben Affleck than there was at Heath Ledger. I don't know if you guys were around. Were you around when Heath Ledger? Everyone was like, what the fuck is Nolan doing?
At first,
everyone was like, what the fuck is Nolan doing?
Yeah, no way.
We were much more willing to give Heath Ledger a chance. And even Michael Keaton, I'm old enough to know like the reaction to Michael Keaton, and people exaggerate the Michael Keaton reaction. It wasn't that bad. Ben Affleck was the single worst ever
it was bad.
reaction to a casting, and I think people were half right.
Batman.
I don't think it was that bad, but I get what you're saying.
I don't think it was an improvement, and if it's not an improvement, then I think it's a problem. Like you had Michael Keaton, you had Christian Bale, and then you had Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck was good.
You're missing one there.
But was he great?
The one we don't talk about.
Val Kilmer and George Clooney don't count. They just don't count. George Clooney was bad as well, actually, when he was cast. But the thing about Ben Affleck, I do think he was genuinely great. I enjoyed his performance. I think he was one of the best.
Good. Very good Batman.
One of the best things. But I don't think he was so good that it was worth all of that. All of the controversy,
the hype and controversy,
that surrounded it. If you just had wasted time. If you had got a Batman that people pardon me, could get on board with in the beginning, then I think you probably would have the response. People would have been more open to the film. I think it would
but
have.
people change their minds, just like the other
Yeah,
Patterson.
real quick. Like
Just like the other Patterson, like I had my issues. I was telling you this morning, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And I had my issues just because of the controversy around it.
The
I know you
Twilight
have
stuff.
issues with how his frame and stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, that trailer came out and blew it. It blew it apart. Like it was fire, and I'm excited for it. And that's all I needed. All I needed was that trailer. That's all I needed.
Dude, the whole DC fandom was just awesome. I loved it. Like I really did.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some boring bits, but like all of the trailers have got me excited. The Suicide Squad got me on it. The Wonder Woman 84. I don't know what people are talking about with the Wonder Woman 84. I loved it. I thought it was
but
great.
everyone expects that to be good anyway. So like people won't talk as much about that. I mean, it was always going to be good.
What were you saying, Common? What were you saying?
I was saying Benson's right. You know, after a certain point, and people, when they like the end product of the first Wonder Woman, they're not expecting more. You know, they're happy, satisfied. You know, like so they're cool.
I think
I
think people just want it to be out. That's what I think.
That's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, everybody. Going to the theaters, it's just not safe right now. Not smart. And it's kind of a bad thing to do anyways. It's a bad example to set, really.
I think it's worse for you guys in America and even in England at the moment than it is for me because I'm in the Czech Republic.
You're in the all right.
So
Ben, where are you
out with it?
UK.
In Prague.
The UK? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I think it's how's it going for you guys in America with that?
It is insane. And it's crazy. Every time we get a handle on things and we get people behind, you know, everything, that was the hardest thing is getting everybody behind this whole thing. I mean, everybody wants to be like, well, I want to go outside, or I want to go to the bar or party or do something. And it's kind of like, you know,
there's a lot of selfish, I think.
Yeah, selfish. It's entitled and selfishness, just 200%. Just it's so difficult because we can't even make a positive change because they aren't even letting you be positive. It's just horrible.
And I think you know,
that's the United States.
Well, let's not get too into politics, but I think the president maybe needed to be a little bit more stern on the rules, basically. Of what
instead
happened.
of he's just back and forth, you know. But I think that really just shows how selfish people in the U.S. can be and entitled. But I mean, you're going to have the same no matter where you are.
Yeah.
Depending on how it's going, you know, like I don't know how it's going where you guys are, but I mean,
the cinemas are opening where I am, and
that's what I hear.
I don't think the cinemas are the worst situation. Actually, I think public transport is probably the worst thing, and being at work. I think cinemas you can just go in with your mask and something to cover your eyes.
Yeah, you can
be relatively safe. So I don't know why cinemas are like a big target. But I think they opened bars before cinemas, which is crazy.
They did.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Why would you open a bar before a cinema? Like that's. But I really want to see Wonder Woman.
That's more important. Because bars and alcohol are more important than movies and.
Yeah, well, you just mentioned Wonder Woman there. I can wait a bit because the reason I say that is because I want it to do well. I want it to get the numbers.
Yeah.
I want it to get all that support. If it comes out now, I feel like it won't get over that billion, and that's what I want it to reach.
Yeah, you're right.
It deserves.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I can wait.
I think it deserves it, and Patty deserves it. I'm just hoping that
definitely
the hype doesn't die down by the time it's released. That's what I'm
hoping. Thing is kind
of
time we take.
Oh, there's a lot of people who are against that movie. I don't know why. It's like as soon as it's the female lead, and I don't mean this as like some
No, Patty. I mean,
SJW
Patty
thing.
as a director. Wow, she needs to be doing more of these movies. She
Yeah.
needs to do Superman.
Yeah, she
She
needs
really does.
more
I
opportunity.
I would say yes. I'd love her to do it, but I also think that she probably wants to do some other more personal stuff. So I'd love her to be a producer on Superman, like a real like to make sure that the right person is chosen. And
Yeah, I
I
can
think
agree
she'd
with
be
that.
really, I think she'd be really good, well placed as a
I would prefer her as a director, but I could agree with what you're saying there. Definitely.
Yeah, but I think what she's done with Wonder Woman, it's like she's brought all of the Wonder Woman fans, people who weren't Wonder Woman fans before, and she's made them fans. And
Yeah,
I
same.
there are some haters out there for the film. I don't understand why. Even the third act, which people like to go off about, I don't think it's quite as bad as people make out.
No,
No,
Yeah.
the whole movie's good,
it's a great
man. I
film.
mean,
Yeah, it's a great film.
overall, it's brilliant.
Did you take your daughters to see it?
I
Who,
did.
me? No, I mean, I've only just started watching it with my 7-year-old daughter. I've just got through all the Supermans. So I have a big case full of all the Christopher Reeves and then all the new ones. I skipped out on returns. I was like, I had to get through BVS. Oh, that was
You
was
went
painful.
through BVS with her.
Oh, I had to, man, to get to Justice League, but
Well done.
that
Good
was
dad.
painful. That was a very bitter pill to
Teach them
swallow.
young.
But,
Proper.
and I
Yeah.
had to sit there and act out like I was excited as well, like, oh, BVS, yes.
That's great. That's great. You know.
But yeah, she loved it. She nearly died when bloody Superman died in the film by that stupid wannabe Doomsday.
Well, there you go. See, maybe we're being a bit too old and whatever about it. Maybe it impacts kids in a different way.
Oh, of course. I mean, kids are going to watch it. They're not going to see the narratives, and they're not going to see all the stuff we see. They're just seeing the superheroes.
History. Yeah, they're seeing what is now.
Yeah,
they don't see all that.
So I think that's telling, because I was cold when Superman died in BVS. I was completely cold. I didn't feel anything, and I'm like, how did Superman die? My favorite superhero, and I didn't feel anything. Like
it wasn't that. It was Doomsday that did it for me. I was like, what is? When it first came out, I was like, what is that? What is it?
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Oh, that's just the beginning of him." No, and I was like, "What? He transformed like 4 times in that movie, and I was still like, what is that?"
All right,
that wasn't Doomsday.
Let's conclude about like this Henry Cavill business. Let's try and get so I'm gonna tell you first my thing, and then you can respond how you want, like what I would like to see, right?
Yeah,
I would like to see if we're going to make it work, because I'm not so big on Cavill coming back, but if he has to, or if it's to appease fans, what I would like to see is a younger Superman rebooted in the Batman Patterson universe. Don't connect it. Don't say anything about it yet. Don't have it like Patterson has to respond to it or anything like that. But just have it in a universe that kind of has some similarities with the Patterson one. But like it's Metropolis to hit the Gotham, right? Like it's just a more realistic kind of thing, but with a younger Superman. And have him be the more hopeful, more, normal kind of Superman kind of character. And then you can have that, right, in that universe. And then you'll have a Batman and Superman in that universe that can cross over, or maybe they don't. Depends on what happens, right? And then you have that over there, and then you continue the DCEU, but what you do is you have Cavill in a multiverse movie, like do a Red Sun movie with Cavill after you've done the rebooted Superman. Do a Red Sun movie with Henry Cavill, or you can do an Injustice movie with Henry Cavill.
Man of Tomorrow.
And then
Man of Tomorrow, yeah. And
then
That's what I want, Man
and
of
then,
Tomorrow. I think that's
and then,
the right
but then
one.
you can have a multiverse crossover. That's what I see. Since they're going into the whole multiverse concept, you could have that. That's my idea.
So like Kingdom
Because
Come, then you can.
yeah, or Kingdom Come. Do you know what I mean? Like you can use Cavill as the Dark Superman. Do you know what I mean? Since he's already gone down that direction anyway, why not?
Yeah, you're right. Oh wow, I mean, you're right because
Yeah, you can get to that.
yeah,
But I think going forward, the next movie has to be, you need to get that Superman, that more relatable Superman, and then we can get to the Dark Superman and come back to it.
All right, let me tell you one other problem, and then with Cavill.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
sure.
I promise I'll let you speak. Cavill's cast. Superman isn't just Superman in isolation. You need all of that. You need, what's her name? Lois Lane.
Lois Lane, Clark.
You need Perry White. All of those actors. You need that.
Jonathan Martha.
And I think the problem is they've been botched as well.
Mm.
So
yeah,
they are.
I mean, that's what my problems were. Man of Steel.
So it's not just Cavill comes with baggage that I don't think you can overcome. So that's why I just think get another series off to the side in the Batterson universe, which is supposed to be a different universe from the DCEU. And then get that going, and then you can have the crossover with Cavill Superman in something like an Injustice movie, or something like that, where Cavill goes completely dark. Maybe the Joker has done something horrible in Metropolis, and his mother and Lois have been killed, and Superman goes completely to the dark side. And they need to get, Flash needs to get the new Superman and the new Batman to come over to this universe to finally take on Cavill Superman. I think that would be mind blowing. But that would be my idea, and I know they're never going to do it.
That's a pretty cool idea, to be fair. I haven't thought of it that deep, but yeah, I like that.
That's why they call me the Nerd Man,
It's like going back to comics and stuff, isn't it? Like bringing some of those comic vibe into it, as well as being a bit more realistic and a bit dark, but also I think you have to start out light with Superman firstly. You've got to build the character properly.
The human.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And Clark as well. You need to get Clark right.
Yeah, we see Clark in the human element a little bit more as humans and not superheroes. We would work with Clark. We wouldn't be flying around with with soups. We would be working with Clark, and we'd be.
I think the next Superman story has to be a Clark Kent story. Has to be a Clark Kent story. Clark Kent working in the Daily Planet with some action, with some good Superman action, but it has to be get this character of Clark Kent.
Like Lois and Clark, but a film version.
Almost, yeah.
You remember Lois and Clark? You guys remember that?
Yeah, I think if you're going to do it, you have to do a trilogy. I mean, if you want to start off with Clark, building him up, you've got to build him up in that movie, and then carry on into a trilogy. I mean, I want Brainiac as a main villain to come into one of these movies. That's what I want.
Brainiac has to be. It has to be. I think if you start a new one, you could have that in the second movie. I think if you go ahead with Cavill, Man of Tomorrow, it has to be the next one. Has to be Brainiac. I know the last Man of Steel was an alien invasion, but fuck it, you have to go Brainiac.
No more alien invasions, please.
I know. They went crazy with that.
Speaking of Brainiac, I just visited the tattoo shop the other day, and seeing as how Benson is bringing it up, but got a cover up.
Yeah, is that Brainiac?
Yes, that is
Bring
Brainiac.
it a bit closer.
Holy shit, man! Nice.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's
That's
a touch
so cool, man.
Just
That's really cool.
But that made me happy when Benson, when you were like, yeah, Brainiac, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Man, that's super cool, man. That's super cool.
I love Brainiac. Like it. Well, thank you. But yeah, I think we need something in the vein of what Kevin Smith was trying to do.
Okay,
but,
go on.
With where he was making Brainiac the focus, and it's weird because the company wanted him. They were like, "Oh, we want Brainiac, but we want Brainiac done a certain way." And Kevin Smith was kind of like, well, I think you guys are full of shit, shite. Like you could, I will give you Brainiac, but I don't want to make him a spider Brainiac head walking around trying to take over the world. Like that script was so weird and strange.
Did you watch Smallville at all? By the way, any used to?
I
watched bits and pieces. Yeah,
not all of it.
The Brainiac in that, I like the actor out of that plays that Brainiac. I thought
He's
that was pretty cool.
From Buffy, the guy from Buffy, Spike.
Yeah,
Oh,
Spike from
yeah,
Buffy.
he's
I
right.
thought he was really good.
That
for that
was
role.
He was fantastic. I want to get our last thoughts on this subject so that we can go on to the boys, because I know some of you might have to leave. So ideally, what would you want to happen with Superman? Does it involve Cavill? Do you want something else? What would be your next movie? I'll start with you, Carmen.
I really want Superman done right, and I think some people would hate what I'm going to say, but I really want. It's too early. I want the death of Superman and then the rise of the Superman, because I want Steel.
Wow.
I want Superboy, because then we can take, then we can figure out what works, what people want, and then we can kind of go from there. Because right now, at every time, we're just kind of like, we have this idea, and then we'll go from there. But they're not open-minded. They're just like strictly Superman or Clark Kent.
You're a wild man. You're a wild man, Carmen.
But,
you're an absolute wild man.
I just want more. I want more. I would be happy to have more. By
the way,
we're gonna have that.
Yeah. I didn't discuss. I'm a bit like sarcastic sometimes, so please don't take any offense.
Not at all. Not at all.
But what are you talking about? They just did the death of Superman in BVS.
I didn't want to say.
I know, but we didn't. We didn't get everything we need to see, though. Like we didn't get, we didn't get the Superman, and I really
he's always dying these days, Superman.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's all it's about. It's about.
He's an outlier, man. He's like you've gone off the reservation, man. That's great. So you want to do straight off the bat death of Superman?
I want to start backwards. Yeah, I want to start backwards.
Fascinating.
We know what's happened. We know how we got there. Yeah. We know parts of how they would get there.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
I don't know. I think nerds sometimes assume people know more about Superman than they do. Because
I think a lot of people know Superman now.
The last really universally popular Superman was Smallville and 1978 Superman. The last universally popular Superman. I think a lot of general audience don't know as much about Superman as you think.
Yeah, I think I completely 100% agree with you there.
They know everything about Batman, but they don't know as much.
They know everything they're told. They don't. I highly doubt that a lot of people, especially if they're like more into, say, Batman or another one of the
Yeah, because Batman's more humanized. I mean, with Superman, I've always said about Superman is that you can't just make him super OP and have him be Superman all the time. You've really got to get that human side, and that human side's Clark, and that's what you need to get right.
It's so important.
And the people around him you need to get right as well to make it an interesting movie.
Yeah, I mean, you guys make some really good points too.
No. To be honest, I was only messing around with you. It's an interesting idea. I'd love to know like what you're thinking, like how you would. It's crazy to me. Like I'm kind of like interested in how you'd want to do that, or how you'd.
I mean, we'd need a little bit of time for that.
No, I don't mean like a plot. Like I'm just saying. So you want Cavill in it? You want the?
No, I don't want Cavill in it. I kind of think we need. I love Cavill. Look, I love him as an actor. I love him as Superman. I just want him to get it right. And like you guys said earlier, his heart isn't there. I think he's kind of tired too. I think he doesn't want to deal with any negativity or go through that again, because some actors, they just don't want to deal with it. You know, they like, especially being through it already, like been there,
But
done
they could
that.
do it right, though. If they did it right, it'd
be
fix
beautiful,
everything.
but
It would
I
be
mean,
awesome.
that's like so hard to achieve. Would that's
I
just,
know.
that's just the
I
same
don't
as
know.
people
They've done
letting.
it with Batman. Look at the Batman film that's just dropped in a
Benson,
trailer.
Benson, wait, let him. Yeah, no, I know what you mean,
Yeah.
but let him go.
I
I
think
was going to ask both of you a question after, but go.
Batman's human, so I think that's why we right away from the get-go, we can relate to that. You know, we can't relate to doing an alien superhero correctly. You know, like there's so much material, I guess, and it would all depend on where you would want to start from or go from. You know, like I'm saying, I just want to start backwards because I want more than Superman. I mean, I want Hank Henshaw. I want Cyborg Superman. I want what was his name?
You mean the? I know who you're talking about, the Annihilator or something.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he wears the glasses, the yellow glasses.
So you just push straight into that. That's interesting. I think it would be visually amazing. I mean, you can't deny that. I think that would be like crazy visually amazing.
Then like
to have a proper Doomsday as well would be fucking
yes, a real Doomsday, the right Doomsday. But
I love the way Doomsday in Krypton was better. I don't know if you ever saw the TV show.
Yeah,
it's better.
No, I didn't see that.
You should check it out. Krypton's pretty cool.
It's pretty good.
Cool series.
What is it on Netflix?
I don't know if it is.
I think it's on Sci-Fi.
I believe you're right.
I'll check it out.
Let me ask just the two of you a question. So I think I know your answer to this, Benson. Just to finish off this Cavill discussion, do you think Cavill's a good actor, Carmen?
Yes, I do. I think he's a very good actor.
And what performances?
Oh, yeah, right there. Benson's right. You said it right. The Witcher. The Witcher. Where that's what I'm talking about. They let him develop the character, probably as Cavill. Like they're like, get comfortable in those shoes because you're going to be.
And he's enjoying it. You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell he's in it, and that's the thing. As you mentioned before, Nerd. Cavill is not nerd. But yeah, Cavill's heart is not in Superman after everything that's been going on anymore. You know, I think at first he was like, "Yes, I'm Superman." You know, so, but you can tell these guys are tired, and that's right there. That right there is a major part on things being productive and us getting good end product. Even though I hate to call these things properties, I can't stand that that's the way we have to now. I mean, people see them as basically objects and properties. These are things that we hold so close to our heart. You know, they probably made us into the people that we are today. You know, so these things mean so much to us. And
that's why it means everything.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, people are like, "Why do you care so much about a comic book film?" Well, because that's my childhood. That made me the man that I am today. You know, whatever that is, however that came about.
Can I piggyback off that as well?
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, Benson. I really will talk after.
You go ahead, man.
But that's why Superman, and I think that's why the Wonder Woman movie meant so much to me, because you know Batman's great, and Wolverine and all of those characters are great. But sometimes you just need a pure hero. And I think it's important to society as well. Exactly. I don't know if it's going to change massively things. You know what I mean? But I think just some incremental part, like of a child watching a pure, you know, the Superman who's not pure good or whatever, but is just the hero who will always try and save the day or strive his best or, you know.
Strives to be human.
Also in the face of the impossible somehow achieves the impossible. So you know, if it's between saving the world and saving a little girl, Superman will, if it's either save the little girl or save the world. Superman will find a way, even if it's impossible to do both. And I think that kind of heroic aspect to him is missing from Snyder, obviously. But
yeah, definitely.
I just think that kind of aspect to him, where there's not a thing that he cares less about, like saving a cat from a tree, as opposed to saving people from, a tornado, is just as important to him, right? Like, like a natural disaster, or just some poor guy who's down on his luck, who needs some help. My favorite scene from any Superman comic is, this girl, emo girl, wants to commit suicide. She's about to jump off a thing, and he just comes to her, and he comes and speaks to her, like, and she's like, you've got so many things to do in the world, like, why would you bother with me? And he's like, because you're important, like everyone's important. And he says some Supermanish thing, but I just want to see that on screen once, just that, like that Superman, because I think that is the kind of hero. Like, it's, as I said, it's great having all the badasses. I love the badasses. I love the Batmans. I love the Spawns and the whatever. But I think if you have all of that, it leads to a cynicism in general, that you need to have the counterbalance to. But that's my thought on it.
It's very important to me, I think. I write as well. I write a lot. I think it's very important that we can relate to these characters, because like you said, we need heroes, and we're not going to have heroes flying around. We're not going to have heroes taking bullets, like Bulletproof and stuff. Yeah. But we do have people fighting wars, so we can, fight for our rights, and normal people, and we need people want to be heroes, to want to treat someone like a human. I mean, the world is so cold, and it's crazy that comic book characters have
reflected
better morals, than normal people these days. I mean, we give
I think we're going into a stage where the comic characters are becoming like as immoral. Good segue to The Boys, by the way. Yeah, but are becoming more immoral than or as.
I just wanted to start looking at like what these heroes kind of mean, and they need to keep to the mythos of of what how the characters were written. They need to stop bending away so far away. I mean, for instance, Superman, he's meant to be really intelligent, and you never see any of that in the movies for me.
Yeah, we don't ever see his him working and being a great
reporter.
A great reporter. We don't ever see that.
Yeah, he's more of a god, isn't he, in these films?
Yeah, we don't see that in Snyder. I mean, you do see that in
Donna. The human element. We see it like, there's.
You saw that in Lois and Clark, and you saw that in
he's more of a god. In these films, he's more of a god.
And I don't like it. Go on. But I want to hear what you want to say, Benson, about Cavill. Your last words, like before we move on to The Boys.
It's a hard one. I mean, after listening to you too, your mind starts to open a little bit more. So I like that. I like the discussion. I like Cavill. I've always liked him, and his movies haven't been great, but I don't blame that on him. And I think he needs a chance to work with a different director and show his talent off.
That's the key.
That's what I want. But if not, just get someone that's well suited for the role and do these movies justice. That's all I want. These characters justice. And that's it for me. That's all I want.
That's the thing. I mean, you've raised a really good point, Benson, and that's my problem with a lot of people who are supporters of Cavill. It seems like they're more into Cavill than they are into Superman.
Yes. Yep.
And I'm like, Superman's bigger than Cavill.
Yeah.
Superman's bigger than, it's like when Cavill dies in a long, long time or whatever, Superman's still going to exist. You know, that idea. And even if Superman somehow is eroded from society, somebody will have taken his place, just like Superman took Hercules' place.